Reverend Leonard Hamlin, the pastor at Macedonia Baptist Church, will ask him the questions. I do want everybody to know that we also invited Governor Gilmore to this meeting, and he also is a candidate for the United States Senate. He declined because he had another commitment that he had to be to.
Governor Warner, certainly we're grateful to have you here, and as we would be working or looking forward to working with you, there's two questions that we would like to ask you, and certainly then give you time to respond and to speak in your own way. First of all, we would like to ask you, will you work with V.O.I.C.E. on our affordable housing agenda in attempting to identify possible properties that could be used for affordable housing as well as solutions to the affordable housing program?
Yes.
Secondly, we'd like to ask you, are you willing to work with V.O.I.C.E. on the immigration issue in brokering a meeting with us with possible federal immigration heads that we might together find a way to reduce the backlog and solve the immigration problem?
Yes.
Governor, we'd like to give you 2 minutes to respond.
Thank you, Pastor. First of all, good afternoon. I bring you greetings from my home church, Old Presbyterian Meeting House, who I understand we've got a And I must acknowledge a little, you've got these elected officials who've made comments. I'm actually unemployed looking for work at this point. But should I get hired? Should I get hired? Let me make 2 or 3 very brief comments, then I have to apologize. In this job application process, they had me running up and down the road, so I'm going to have to leave afterwards. Let me acknowledge on the housing issue, we do have to think more creatively. We do have to think that maybe just the old solutions aren't working with the enormous numbers of foreclosures. And with the economic challenges this country faces, we are going to have to think differently about how the solutions. Are there current existing properties that could be transitioned? Are there other ways that we can think about this other than simply adding to the housing stock? I think it is not an either or, but it's a combination of both. On the question of immigration, we must make sure that while the laws are enforced, that there's also a process. What my understanding in our conversations earlier, for people who are in the process of becoming legal, there should not be months and months and months of delay, and an immigrant in years. People need to get a yes or a no so they can go on with their lives. And now I know you didn't ask about the dental issues, but this is something that I've also been involved in. I'm very proud of the fact that close to 18 years ago, I started the Virginia Healthcare Foundation, a public-private initiative that's now helped over 600,000 Virginians get health care coverage. And that even during our challenging times, and I know Senator Sasslaw was here and they mentioned the current times, I have been with challenging times in the state budget. But we found a way, again, through public-private initiatives and working with legislators of both parties, to actually expand the Children's Health Insurance Initiative, where we covered close to 98% of our eligible children. 144,000 more kids got health care coverage during our administration, because I think not only is that the morally right thing to do, but a child that goes to school healthy is going to learn more. That's just plain common sense. Now let me close with this. I know my time is up. Let me thank V.O.I.C.E. for bringing together all of these various faith backgrounds. Let me also commit to one thing, that if I do get hired in this new position, and that is, in a very, very challenging environment in Washington, to try to do the same kind of approach. It is time that we actually get common ground between Democrats and Republicans. This country's problems will not be fixed if we think every good idea has to have a D or an R next to it. There's nothing this country can't do if we have leaders who will ask us to step up as Americans, but not simply as political partisans. So taking the model that you have here, by bringing together all of these different faith traditions to have a common agenda, that same approach, that same mindset, that finding that common ground, I'd love to bring if I get hired in this next position I'm looking for.
Governor, one last question. Certainly, should your application be accepted and, of course, approved, would you be willing to follow up and meet with this organization again at a specified time where we can both report mutually on our progress on these issues?
Pastor, I'll come back whether I'm hired or not. Thank you all, and God bless you.
Thank you, Governor.
You know, in these challenging times, if we can create the political will